Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you doing today? What I have for you today in this video is I want to talk to you guys about Apple killing the 16GB iPhone SE. And the link to this article will be in the description below. Basically just talking about, how that model of the iPhone SE is no longer going to be of existence. Apple killed it. And they mentioned a new lineup for the SE, which was 32GB, 64GB, mentioning the history of how long that 16GB iPhone has been out. And you know what? I think Apple is making, one of the best decisions when it comes to the iPhone ever. And here's why. Because, lately, like the updates that we're getting for iOS, these updates just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And because of that, they're taking up a lot more storage space. Like even iOS 10, I have a 32GB iPhone 5 right here. Even this is starting to run low on space. Now it's going to get to a point where the 32GB is going to be too small as well. I mean, 8 gigs was definitely way too small. 16GB, started getting too small. Me personally, 8 and 16 are not the best capacities out there when it comes to storage. And now Apple is bumping up the storage for the SE. They have a 32GB model for the same price as the 16GB iPhone SE they did before, and now they are adding a 64 gig. Actually, excuse me, you see me looking at my other screen. I have the article pulled up, but I mean, overall, they're expanding the storage on the iPhone SE, and I'm thinking in the future we will no longer be seeing 16GB iPhones ever again, because as more applications come out every day, every year, those are going to get a lot bigger in terms of size. And then it looked like we may see like terabytes of storage on a phone one day. I mean, think about it. Apple got the 32GB iPhone out there, iPhone 7 or 7 Plus. Now they got 128GB, in the middle, and now they got 256GB. So I mean, what's next? Next could be like 480 something, and the next possible thing, at one point it'll be like over a terabyte of storage. I mean, just imagine how much storage you'll need in the future. Maybe not now, but I would say 10 years from now. Who knows? Maybe 10 years from now we may not even have smartphones anymore, or cell phones in general. We may have something else. But I mean, the 16GB iPhone, was just not the best choice when it came to capacity. I mean, it was a very affordable. Don't get me wrong on that. But you could not store much on it. And even with my 32GB iPhone 5 right now, this is not the 5S, this is the 5, as you see right here. I mean, this is the black slate model, iPhone 5, 32GB AT&T model. I mean, even this thing, I had a tough time trying to keep my storage on here, because I even had to delete some stuff to add new stuff on here. And that's why, I'm so fond about my Galaxy Note 4 right here. Not only does this come with 32GB of internal storage, which obviously I would have liked more, but I put a 64GB or 32 gig, I think it was a 64GB micro SD card in here. And I expanded on the storage. iPhones, you cannot do that. It's basically like when you buy an iPhone, you gotta buy it with the correct storage that you need right there for the first time. And if you need to think about expanding storage, you cannot do that with the iPhone. So that's why, like, sometimes it may be cheaper to go over Android phone, or sometimes the iPhone will still be cheaper depending on which Android phone you're looking for. I don't know, because you got a lot more benefits that I see in Android compared to iOS, but looks like iOS may start to catch up on there. They just have their own twist to it. And the fact that Apple is going to add, or are adding more storage options, and a larger capacity on the iPhones now, I think they're really going on the right road right here. Yeah, and who knows, maybe at one point I might feel like, okay, they don't have to do micro SD expandable storage. That's fine. Me, I just like to keep my stuff separated. That's why I like to have the micro SD storage, because I don't store much internally on my phone other than apps and contact pictures. But pictures at one point gets moved over to the micro SD card because I have my full picture library on that little micro SD card. That tiny card inside my Note 4. So that way, like if I want to show or one of my friends or families, pictures of past vacations that I went on before, pull up right there, pull up right there. The iPhone was a little bit tricky for me because, for me to sync it back and forth with iTunes, and then, I'm limited on storage space, and plus, some of the video formats that I took with my digital camera, my Sony CyberShot DSC H55, those file formats are not supported on the iPhone right here. Yeah, but Android, my Note 4, those are supported, so I have those on my micro SD card. And other than that, storage is going to be big when it comes to smartphones, and it affects people's decision on which smartphone they want to get. And I feel like Apple was on the right track, but now I'm starting to feel like 32 gigabytes may be a little too small. And then I would say the lowest they would have to start at is probably 64 gigabytes. That's probably the best bet. So overall, the fact that Apple killed the 16 gigabyte iPhone SE, I feel like they're heading in the right direction. And then at one point, they might have to bump up the storage a little bit at the same price. But that's later on. Like 32 gigabytes is okay right now. But next I think they'll have to start at 64 at some point. Well, actually, did they start at 64 right now? I can't recall. I have to check back on the website. But thanks so much for watching. Do you guys think that Apple made the right move, or do you guys feel like 16 gigabytes was enough for the basics? Go ahead and let me know what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Was 16 gigabytes of storage manageable for you guys? For me, definitely wasn't, because 32 gigabytes, I can't even manage myself on it right now. So definitely not 16. 8 is no question. That's it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.